Hi guys, Kaze here. Welcome back. We're back with Along the Edge. We're on chapter 3. After the weird last stream that we had, and our ex, I guess for the better part of the word, is back as well, and he's now living in town. So let's see what happens. It's probably been about another month since the last chapter, so let's see where our thoughts and feelings will take us. Chapter 3. October. Witching hour. I'm bare feet in the grass. In front of me, the black mass of the forest seems to invite me. I feel a hand on my forearm. Miss, I heard her noise, so I came looking. Miss Boyton is standing next to me. She looks worried. What am I doing here? What happened? I'd like to know that too. What happened to you? A bad dream, miss. Just a bad dream. Come, let's get you back to bed. In the forest, right? The Sphinx calling me. What? Miss Boyton guides me back to my bedroom. I fall again into a dreamless sleep. And I rise again. The sun is already high. I'm surprised to see Miss Boyton still here, asleep in the chair on the other side of the room. She's sleeping so peacefully. I feel almost guilty to wake her up. Miss Boyton? Oh, hello, Miss Daphne. I'm sorry, I must have fallen asleep. Fallen asleep? But what are you doing here? Oh, you don't remember. It was quite a fright yesterday night. My husband heard you go out. We heard some noise and went to check what it was, and when we saw you, he woke me up, so I brought you back to bed. We're used to it anyway. It happened to Madame and grandmother from time to time. Once or twice a month, we used to find her wandering in the garden. We had to put her back to bed. Must be the moon. The moon? Sure, she used to do this on full moons. You know what they say, right? With the full moon. I don't see the connection. Yes, you must be right. I mean, I see the connection, because you're supposed to be a bit wonky on the full moon, supposedly. Yes, you must be right. Ah, well, the full moon is always brings something out of it. Must beware the full moon dreams. That's strange. I had a strange dream last night. Since you're talking about this, I had this strange dream. I'm in the forest, and there's a mirror and a sphinx. A sphinx, you say? It's on the coat of arms of your family, don't you know? Maybe you saw it there. But if I never knew what it was, what could it be? Well, perhaps the coat of arms? Yes, that's right. The blason of the Delators. Give it a look. It's carved in the wall of the tower. A blason with a tower and a sphinx, a bit like the one from the pyramids. I'll take a look when I get the chance. Thanks. Maybe I saw it there indeed. Well, miss, if you don't mind me anymore, I'll go back to the outbuilding. Gerard must be waiting for me to prepare a snack. Yes, of course, by all means. I'll manage on my own. In this case, have a good day, miss. And if you need anything... Yes, at least I did this on the weekend. Miss Boyton leaves the room and leaves me alone with my questions. I'm telling myself it might be time to call Dr. Durant. He told me I could call him if I felt the need, and I'm afraid time has come. I'm not sure if he can do anything for me, but it's worth a try. I take the phone and dial his number. Hello? Dr. Durant? Daphne Delator speaking. Ah, hello, Daphne. Why are you calling? You told me I could call. True. You've left me without news since August, and now you're calling me on a Sunday morning. I guess it must be important. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I can call you tomorrow if you prefer. No. You were right to call me. That's precisely why I gave you this number. And I'll be more tuned in than tomorrow between two patients. I couldn't go through everything that happened since I arrived, finishing this reoccurring dream and what happened last night. Listen, Daphne, I understand why you called me. There's no cause for alarm. There's no proven treatment for somnambulism, and everything points to an isolated crisis, certainly due to your new environment. But do you have the explanation for this dream, don't you? Well, for this, we can look into psychoanalysis. Tell me, how would you interpret it? It must be disturbing. All these dreams. momentary dream. I think I don't know. It was really strange. I felt like it was premonitory. You're entitled to your beliefs, Daphne, but allow me to remind you that you're a master of your own destiny. Don't forget it. Even if this dream was indeed premonitory, as you say, don't let yourself be trapped by the idea that you can't change your fate. Yes, you must be right. Most of all, don't push yourself too hard. Take some time to think about it. You went through a lot of changes, and you get your bearings, and everything will be alright. You'll see. Thank you, Doctor. You told me your ex-partner paid you a visit. How do you see things on this matter? I'm not sure. I should give him a chance, interested. I wonder if I wasn't wrong to throw away what we had. Our couple deserves another chance. Thinking it through before rushing things is important, but don't hesitate too much. You have a shot at picking up the pieces, as they say. Frank seems to have made it clear, and you must have noticed he didn't come all this way just to say hello. Anyway, if you really want to make it work, you have to attend to it soon, because he might lose patience before you're ready. Very well, Doctor. So, you mentioned a young man, something called Sinlias, is that right? Oh. I don't have much to say. I might have mentioned him. Yes, but I don't know what to think of him. On one hand, he's extremely rude to me, but on the other, I must admit the Malterres are quite intriguing. I'm just trying to get to the point that Frank isn't the only alternative. Maybe you're more open to new opportunities than you care to admit. With that guy? What? Me and Stelnes Malterre? That seems a bit far-fetched, Doctor. I'm only reacting to what you told me, but if you allow me, I would advise you not to count on Frank to be a solution to everything. If you want a relationship to work, you have to make sure you can handle yourself first. One last thing, before we get back to our Sunday activities. Yes? How do you feel about your new job? I like how it pays the bills. I like it. I know I was unsure when I left, but believing it or not, I love this new job. It's perfectly normal to be exhausted in your situation. Was sure you would enjoy it. You're right. Teaching is really fulfilling. It's a great satisfaction to enable these young brains to get a grip on complex notions. I'm glad to hear that. Hang on to this positive element. It will help you go through the tests life is throwing at you. Alright, Daphne, I'm sorry, but I have to hang up. I'm glad that you're more at ease. And to repeat myself, there's nothing to worry about. It's more normal to need time to get your bearings. I trust you, of course, but I'm not completely sure it will work out. Come on, Daphne, you really don't have no reason to let yourself be overwhelmed by these details. As for sleepwalking episode, be watchful, but don't be alarmed. You've told me about the wanderings wardens living nearby. Perhaps you could ask them to be on their guard, in case it happens again. Feel free to call me again if you ever feel the need, and if needed, I'll refer you to a colleague in the area. Okay. Oh, and unless it's in case of emergency, try check the day of the week before throwing yourself on the phone next time. Yes, sure, Doctor. I'll try my best to have my next somnambulism crisis on a weeknight. Alright, no need to linger on this. Have an excellent Sunday. Thanks, you too. As I slowly recovered from my night, slumped on the sofa with a good book and a cup of tea, I heard someone knocking. I was surprised to find Frank smiling on the other side of the threshold holding a bouquet of flowers. Aww. Carnations, your favorites. When I saw them at the market, I thought about you right away. He handed me the bouquet as he enters the hall. Would you offer me a coffee? It's not the best time. Sure, why not? Sure. I mean, you came all this way and you brought me flowers. It's only nice. So, do you like it here at the village? He follows me in the kitchen. I put the flowers in a vase and turn to the espresso maker. Well, I'm doing alright. Found a couple jobs, including big roof repairs. What's really pleasant around here is that people are so easy to work with. They don't ask you to justify yourself at each step, and they won't entertain wacky notions about how I should do my work. What about you? How are you doing? Chit-chat for a while. In passing, I tell him about my eventful night. I still kind of enjoy his company. 2 coffees and an hour later, Frank finally decides to get into the thick of it. You told me about this tower without door, remember? I'm a bit intrigued by all this. Do you mind if I have a look? Make yourself at home. I was intrigued as you are. I was wondering what might be inside. In this case, I'm going to investigate you, and I'll give you my report. Do you want to look for an old pipe? It would complete your panoply, don't you think, Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Stop laughing at me. I'm sure I can resolve this mystery of the yellow moon. Moon. Then Frank goes up to do his stuff, which allows me to go back to my thriller and my plaid. He reappears late in the afternoon, his coat covered with dust and his shoes equally covered with mud. So from the look on your face, I'm quite sure you're not going to say elementary, my dear Watson. No, I must admit my defeat. Then, what are your conclusions? There must be some entry somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I tried to get in by the wall with a ladder, but the arrow slits are too narrow and too deep. I can't make anything out, even less get through, unless I blow up parts of the wall. Miss Boatine found me doing an acrobatic act, so I asked her a couple questions. Seems like she has no idea what's inside either. Told you. When I entertained the idea to get by the roof, she dissuaded me vehemently, so the roof hides an older stone ceiling with no way in either. And when I try to wrap my mind around the kind of scalping I would need to get up there, I'd rather take her word for it. Well, at least you tried. Sure, well, I gotta go. Big day tomorrow. Thanks for the coffee. You're welcome. Good evening. See you. I didn't dream of anything this night. Monday is particularly tiresome. I don't know if the students were in cahoots to make me suffer, or if it's just that I haven't completely recovered from my weekend. To top it off, and as I get to the school gates, I catch a glimpse of Miss Levique waiting for her son and looking at me menacingly. I'm quite sure she's about to jump on the occasion to antagonize me. After my long day, I must admit it's tempting to try and dodge her, even if it is not very professional. As I'm considering my options, I know she's already walking resolutely towards me. Oh joy. What should I do? Avoid her. I'll just let her come. Let's see what she's got. Prepare myself to have a hard time when I find a hand on my forearm. Oh, it's the Malterre. Ah, Miss Delator, I'm in luck. I just wanted to talk to you about something. It's Stanislas Malterre, holding a young child by the hand. Miss Levique immediately turns on her heels and goes back outside the gates. Woohoo! His power is amazing. I don't know you. Okay. Uncle Stan, who is this lady? Well, Pierre, her pretty lady is Daphne Delator. She lives at the castle. At the castle of the witch? You're not a witch, Miss Daphne, are you? Forgive him. As you can see, he's not afraid to speak his mind. He adds, winking at me. I think this is only our second conversation. I kind of avoided it. He must take a little bit after his uncle. I crouched to put myself in the child's height. Which is, maybe I'm a nice witch. Since I live at the castle of the witch, it means I must be a witch, right? He grabs by his uncle's leg, intimidated. Yes. In this case, I must definitely be one. But maybe I'm a nice kind of witch, don't you think? Does it exist? A nice witch, Uncle Stan? Of course it does. Miss Delator's a teacher at the middle school. She knows about things. I get back up and I notice Stalis is putting out his hand. I don't believe I've been formally introduced. Stanislas Malterre, but my friends call me Stan. I would love to call you Stan too, it's easier. Daphne Delator, but it seems you already know it. Of course, I'm sure you notice how fast news spreads around here, Daphne. Can I call you Daphne? When my father discovered something was going on at the castle, he had to know what was happening. Please excuse him, the poor man's obsessed by the Delators. But don't let this put you off. The rest of the family is not all cut from the same cloth. We all have to take a coffee together one of these days, to get to know each other. I'm sure we have a lot in common. Before I had a chance to answer, he adds, by the way, you must have received your invitation for the cocktail, haven't you? The cocktail? I hope you're coming. My father forces me to attend, but it's atrociously stuffy. Uncle Stan, can I have my afternoon snack? Yes, Pierre, in a minute. So, Junior wants his 4 o'clock snack. Say goodbye to Daphne, Pierre. My name's Pierre Yves, not Junior. The child takes my hand. Are you coming, Auntie Daphne? It didn't take him long to succumb to your charms. Auntie Daphne has things to do, so she can't come with us this time. Let's go on home. You're driving. What? How's the kid driving? For real? Of course not. Daphne, pleased to meet you. See you soon? In an instant, Stan and Junior disappear in a sports car, and I remain speechless on the sidewalk, trying to sort out what just happened. When I get back home, I discover I have mail. There's a nice square envelope that contains an invitation to a cocktail. I guess that's what Stanislaus was talking about. Looks like I've been invited to a reopening of the City Hall's gardens that just went through renovations. I bet all the local uppercast will attend, so I'll be an excellent excuse to learn more about the Malterres. I could ask Frank to come with me, but I know this kind of social event isn't really his cup of tea. On the other hand, going alone... Well, if it's not his cup of tea, we don't need to invite him and could get to know the other guy and then decide on to pursue, right? So, we'll not ask him. No, I'd rather go on my own. Then again, I'm not that comfortable with asking him. The D-Day comes quickly. As I get ready for the evening, I'm confronted with an existential dilemma. Ooh. I can deduce from the invitation that proper attire is required, but I don't see myself hanging there in denim in a twin set. I don't own anything remotely appropriate for this kind of occasion. After raiding a wardrobe of my mother's room, I find 2 dresses that might somewhat do the job. I just can't choose. On one hand, this long dress, emperor style. I guess it's more of a taste in the criteria of elegance of my grandmother. To be honest, I don't see my mother wearing this spontaneously. This pastel blue, usually the kind of color that agrees with my complexion. The other is a black strapless dress, short and tight-fitting. I can imagine my mother wearing this, sort of the kind of garment she must have worn when going out. Contrary to the blue one, it leaves very little to the imagination between the bare shoulders and the shortness of the skirt. Which one should I choose? It's gonna dictate my evening. I was like, well, it's my first time out in society. I don't want to scare everyone, I don't think. Like, oh my god, that witchy girl. I'll do the long blue. It's pretty. I think I might be a little overdressed, but I think this option is the most reasonable. Change your mind. Yeah. Oh shit, if you let me change it, I don't mind. Okay, try that one. No, I'm not convinced it's too much. The other option should be better. As I put on the other dress, I'm having second thoughts. Isn't the first one better after all? I have to decide or I'm gonna get very late. Yeah, I don't think that's right for this kind of party, yeah. I should have trusted my instincts. The first choice was the right one. Now that I've dealt with the dress, I just have to do something with my hair. I gather into a quick bun, a bit of eyeliner and some lipstick, and I'm ready to go. I'm already late when I leave the house. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I get inside my small car, and after a quick ride, I'm there. The gardens of City Hall are magnificent, with their trees dawn in the flaming colors of fall. There's already a lot of people hanging around the small groups, drinking glasses of wine leisurely. The guests are all dressed up to the nines, and the luxury of the event almost looks like a big wedding in a town gathering in a small countryside village. The Malterres clearly didn't balk at the expense. There's hardly enough time to ask for a cup of champagne at the buffet before I'm approached by a large man in a black suit. Oh, hello. Closely followed by a tall, haughty blonde woman. I can reasonably deduce she's his wife. Ah, good evening, miss. You must be the new owner of the castle. I'm glad you came to our little party. I must confess, I was eager to learn a bit more about the new owner of the castle. Let me introduce you to my wife, Clotilde Malterre. I'm not good with French, I'm sorry. I know more Japanese than French. Good evening, miss. It's pleased to meet you. An icy handshake contrasts sharply with the friendliness of her husband. I can read a mix of contempt and distaste in her eyes. Weird. Looks like my daughter Soline has been ambushed by our elder, Mr. Maury. He points toward a pretty young blonde on the other side of the path. She's leaning toward an old man in a wheelchair who's caught her by the wrist and seems determined not to let her go as long as decency would allow. And about my son, I heard you already met him. Yes, I did. Since we're done with introductions, allow me to get straight to the point. I must admit my invitation wasn't totally innocent. As you're about to see for yourself later, during the opening ceremony, we're very concerned about preserving our cultural heritage here in the village. And as you may have heard, our relations with your grandmother were, how could I put it, tense. Well, I'd rather get to the point, sir. I'm sorry. Listen, yeah, something tells me you're about to ask me something, and I don't think it's the right time. Yes, you're right. It's neither the right place nor the right time to talk. I'll leave you to enjoy the evening. Thank you. But we have to talk later. I have an offer that I think will be beneficial for both of us. Don't insist. Let's talk another time. No, let's talk another time. I'm gonna try. Alright, but should we talk at a more appropriate time? Of course, you're right. We'll see each other later, in the cold light of day. Enjoy your evening. You too. You have an excellent evening, Mr. Mayor. I know, I just kind of brushed off the mayor, but I want to go have fun. Sorry. Yes, Malterre disappeared into the crowd. And now that I know who the other members of the family are, I'll be able to question them directly. I don't beat around the bush, do I? Solin is still struggling with the old man, and Clothilde, her mother, seems to have taken advantage of her husband's departure to get to the buffet. And after all, nothing forces me to engage in social niceties. I can also decide that I've seen enough to go home. What? What should I do? Oh, it's like, yeah, I made it all the way here. I'm all dressed up. I'm leaving. Like, what? Let me go help the daughter. I want to meet her. Seeing me approach, Celine seizes her chance and finally manages to extract herself from the claws of Mr. Mari. I can see in an instant mix of gratitude and relief in her eyes, but she still comes towards me with a large smile. You must be Daphne Teletor. I'm Celine Malterre, Sanleus's older sister. Pleased to meet you. Oh, the pleasure is mine. I was looking forward to meeting you. San told me you were charming. I've seen him with your son. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. I'm like, whose son? True, he said uncle. Huh. Stan told you about me? Really? He told you about me? He didn't. I apologize in advance for his behavior. I know how he can be around women. He might be resent me telling you this, but I think he's got quite a crush on you. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, what? Me too. Okay. I must admit, I kind of got a crush on him too. Just a little incy one. I can't decide. Thanks for telling me. I know it's none of my business, but I hope you have the best intentions for him. Sin never got lucky in love. He really needs a stable relationship. And then it's quite tense between her parents and him. If you could free him a little from the family, it would do him a lot of good. The issue is he's typically the kind of person that you need to push around to commit himself. Just saying, without wanting to pressure you. But I'm counting on you, Daphne. She bursts out laughing. Well, enough talking about my brother. Tell me about yourself. What are you doing for a living? Do you like it here in the village? We talk for a good 20 minutes. Celine seems nice and outgoing, and I have a hard time deciding if it's not just a faticade. And I still seem to lose her attention several times, until, without notice, she leaves me hanging there to engulf herself outside the city hall. Okay, bye. Ran off on me. What should I do next? Mouse gets to talk to everyone. We'll go talk to the mother. Or the wife. Clothier is chatting to a group of people smartly dressed, a vague smile on her lips. Her face is very hard to read. Is she tending this function reluctantly? Or is her distant, haunting attitude really revealing of her personality? Seeing me approaching me, she apologizes to her guest and takes me aside. Mrs. Malterre. Listen, girl, I'm talking to Dr. Sakaran and his wife. If you haven't been raised well enough to understand common decency, I hope you'll excuse me being straightforward. I'm afraid I have neither the time nor the urge to help you correct your lackings. So if you don't mind, I'll go back to my guest, and you, I don't know, enjoy the buffet, maybe? I wish you an excellent evening. What? Excuse me? What the hell? Let her go. Oh. What? Excuse me, wasn't I clear enough? To say it in a way you might understand, off you go, bye-bye. Tell me, just what did I do to justify such hostility? You're a delator, and the apples don't fall far from the tree, so you don't have anything yet. But I am no fool, and know that sooner or later your presence in the castle is going to generate a catastrophe. My house entertains a romantic idea, but you will be different. But you weren't raised here, and you should hold out our hands to delators at the risk of being bitten again. You understand, I am not on the same mind. The Malterres are self-made men, not like you, who always had everything, the right to choose to ignore it. But you were born with a silver spoon in the mouth. If you say so. Don't try and hide behind self-importance or fake feelings of purity, mist. It doesn't suit you at all. And stop kidding yourself. Even your pretty dress has a hard time of hiding your evident lack of grace. Stop insulting me. Tell me why you hate me so much. Just ask the slut you call your mother. Where is she? She wasn't brave enough to finish what she started, was she? I'm going to defend my mom. My mom is not a slut. Really? That's a bit rich. You come over heavy-handed and you haven't even informed yourself. Why do you think Sophie left? Think about this for a change. I'm not responsible for what my mother might have or have not done 30 years ago. That's madness. 30 years ago, you're off your mark. And yet, there's one possible issue, and it's the end of one of our families. What are you afraid of? My mother and I are the last Delator still alive. The castle is threatening to become a ruin, and you have the city hall, your sawmill, and more money than you can count. For as long as you have the castle, you'll be a threat. But why? What is it about? What's inside the castle? I've already said too much. Enough. Stop making a scene. You look ridiculous. I wish I could bid you farewell, but I'm afraid we're not rid of you yet, girl. With no further ado, she turns around, leaving me hanging there to go back to her guest. I realize that's the kind of sway in a crowd. The guests are gathering around a tribune, and I still guess the unveiling ceremony is about to begin. Someone's walking against the current, spilling the crowd in my direction. Splitting. Daphne? It's Stanilius. He's carrying a glass of wine, and he seems a bit drunk. You came. Nice. Are you alright? Are you alright? Something tells me you had a bit too much to drink, haven't you? Too much? No, this is just the minimal medication to suffer through my old man's speech. Follow me. Your sister must be around here somewhere. I turn my back to him, looking for Celine. Who should know what to do with her brother in this kind of situation? I really had time to turn my eyes. That sand whirls me around, holding me against him. Oh, okay. I look in his eyes, and I perfectly understand well what is about to happen. I'm trying to hold him back, but his lips end up on mine. Okay. Luckily, I'm saved by a rasping voice that stops Stanilius in his trick. Oh, thank you. Ah, isn't corrupting our youth enough for you? Miss Beatrice Leveque is standing by next to us and looks at me with a look of anger and reprobation. Yeah, I'm not angry at you. I'm not going to be pickled by you, lady. You're just weird. Calm down, Miss Leveque. I was just about to leave. If you could just... Oh! Why? Beatrice doesn't wait for me to finish my sentence before throwing the contents of her glass of red wine at my face. That is for you, dirty. I'm surprised by the aggression. I step backward and fall over, and I feel a sharp pain in my left hand. My cheeks get flushed, and I have a ball of heat radiating inside my chest. Dirty what? Dirty witch? Is that what you wanted to say? Stanilius helps me get up, and I feel something warm and moist dripping along my fingers. I realize I must have cut my hand in the fall. See, I'm injured. Are you happy? And I look dark as frick. Since you're sure I'm a dirty witch, then I curse you. I'm gonna pay for what you did to me tonight. Is that what you're waiting for? Are you satisfied? If I'm a spellcaster, as you say, why not put my powers to good use? Daphne, your hand. Blood has been drawn. Careful with what you're about to... I have the perverse satisfaction to see Miss Leveque turn white as a sheet. I hold her gaze until she gives up and turns on her heels. Sam puts his hand on my shoulder and shakes me gently. Daphne? Daphne, do you realize what? I cut him off and lash out. Ah, that's enough now. Leave me alone. I stride into the bathroom to wash my wound, mop up the wine from my face, and most of all, try and calm down. In the distance of the tribune, Miev's Malterre has taken the microphone and is about to speak. My dear friends, neighbors, and fellow citizens, we've got together to celebrate the start of the fall season. As you all know, by tradition, this time of year is a dedication to reflection and remembrance. It's about time that we talk about our lost relatives who are waiting for us on the other side. But it's also the same time of the offering where we pray to invisible entities for a mild winter. That's why our craftsmen will have worked hard in the summer for celebration, so we would be ready in time to show you the fruit of our efforts. As we are leaving summer behind to enter winter, this time of offering, as I said, seems like the appropriate time to renew our pact with our protectors. Those invisible forces who allow our traditions to survive, century after century, not to disappear because of invasions or external influences, who bring us luck, happiness, and prosperity every year. So I'm proud to present you our physical representation of our pact, this statue, symbol of our community, that has been deteriorated by the years and the weather, and has now been made anew by the masterful hand of our local craftsmen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present you the Sphinx. The Sphinx? Isn't that the one I'm dreaming about? I don't know. We'll find out. And what in the world I have just done with that lady, I don't know. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next chapter. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you can also check out the game on its Steam page. Link is in the description area down below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, Kaze out.